Recently, the President of Ukraine Vladimir Zelensky addressed the Congress, where he was greeted with applause. During the speech, he thanked the American people and the government for their support, but noted that the artillery is still not enough to defeat Russia. He also added that he did not ask Americans to fight for Ukraine, but Ukrainian fighters could quickly master the skills of managing Western tanks and aircraft. All of this is an investment in global security and democracy. In addition, he called for additional sanctions against Russia, mentioned the role of Iran, and strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure. At the end, the president handed the flag of Bakhmut defenders to the Congress, and in return, he was presented with the flag of the USA. The president's triumphant speech in the US Congress showed the failure of Moscow's efforts to divide the West and weaken support for Ukraine, which is being helped by almost all developed countries. At the end of the first year of full-scale aggression, Russia is losing its status as a great power, unable to break the resistance of a much smaller enemy and begging for military aid from Iran. Zelensky's visit has once again hurt Putin's ego, which will surely be followed by a hysterical attack. It is obvious that not only missile attacks will be stepped up, but a ground offensive as well. It is possible that preparations for an offensive from Belarus will revive, making the threats to Lukashenko and his regime more obvious. Zelensky's visit has once again hurt Putin's ego, which will surely be followed by a hysterical attack. It is obvious that not only missile attacks will be stepped up, but a ground offensive as well. It is possible that preparations for an offensive from Belarus will revive, making the threats to Lukashenko and his regime more obvious. At the same time, Ukraine, receiving more and more advanced weapons, is unlikely to give the aggressor a respite. Repeated repulsion of the attack from the north, exit to the Crimean Isthmus, will put the Kremlin before the need to capitulate and unconditionally comply with the conditions of Kyiv. As for the long war, Russia is unlikely to endure another year of aggression. The accumulated problems will not only make it impossible to continue the revanchist campaign, but also to maintain stability inside the country. A repeat attack on Kiev would be Russia's last convulsion in this war. Since it has so far not achieved a single goal, neither to take Donbass, nor to capture Kiev, nor to occupy the south of the country. It is also impossible to bring Ukraine and the West to the negotiating table on their own terms. That is why Putin is left to inflate the infantry units to the point of obscenity, trying to turn the tide of the war by sheer numbers. For this very purpose, the strength of the army was increased to 1.5 million, which will allow to draft 350,000 more men, and also the raising of age limit for conscripts, increase of terms of draft service and discussion of the possibility of drafting women were declared. As we know, 300,000 dead is not a price for Putin. And finally, good news for all of us. The Russian media reports that there was another fire at the flagship of the Russian Navy, the aircraft carrier Admiral Kuznetsov, in Murmansk. The only Russian aircraft carrier has been under repairs since 2017, which was supposed to last until 2024. Generally speaking, this is great. The Russian Federation spends millions on endless repairs of a huge, outdated ship that would not help in any way in a war, even if it was serviceable. Before you put your reaction under the video and subscribe to the channel, I want to say goodbye to you and wish you a peaceful sky over your head. Have a good day.